Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here again. I'm coming here again before you because today, as yesterday, I got a concern about the people of America, people of Minnesota, and people of the earth. And that is that each of you have an opportunity to experience your dreams, to see your life unfold in such a way that you say, this is a dream come true. And I want to do this because I have been led to say this to you that it is the intent for you to experience this, but only if it's your choice. And the choice before you right now, ladies and gentlemen, that's drawing you further and further away from your dreams in an attempt to believe that you're being drawn to your dreams. It's all deception. It's not taking you to your dreams. It's like somebody stand up and say, I hate this country. This country's no good. And then the next time you see them, oh, this is a wonderful country. This is a wonderful country. Oh, I hate this person. This person is no good. Or this is a wonderful person. This is a wonderful person. Or the reverse. This is a wonderful person and this person is no good. You never know where you're coming from. The result of it is, though, that you still got this division. You still got all of those animosities that kept you in a position where you have always been. And that is the reality of the life that we live in every day. And so my job is to let you know that there is another way. And ladies and gentlemen, I am very serious about this. You know, when I think about the years that have been spent and what I look at as success, I think that I'd come out better by saying that I do this for our ancestors, those who gave their lives to make this a better world for you, for all of you, and to see the world going backwards, to see what appeared to have been some accomplishment over time that they gave their lives for being backtracked. And so to honor their efforts, to know that their lives were not in vain, I stand here, even though to me it might appear as though I'm standing alone. And when you start thinking about the results of moving in a positive direction, I might not be alone, but it's very few of us that's doing it because we're losing the battle. But we're not going to lose the war. And this is what I'm saying to you, ladies and gentlemen. I am before you because I know what I'm talking about. Look, we're living in a society that is manipulated and basically controlled by a certain group of people. And everything, as far as they are concerned, is about them. So when it doesn't mean that you're not important. Your importance is very important to you, and it's as important as it can be until it's measured against the importance of the powers that be, the people who are basically in charge. And if it goes against anything that they represent or that they stand for, then all of a sudden yours got a little too important. You got to take it back down the steps. So in other words, keep it to yourselves. It's like church, you know, church is good, but keep it to yourself. That's what the higher powers out here that governs says to the world. Not just America, but says to the world. And this is what they do. But the reality of it, ladies and gentlemen, is that you can always, if you know the trick, be accepted, be successful. You see, the powers that be, and I'm speaking basically now to your minorities, they will allow you to come in. Oh, they will allow you to come in. Here's the problem, if there is a problem. It falls in this area. You're not going to get in thinking that you're going to be you. That's not going to happen. If you want to come into this circle, you got to be a better presentation of them than they are themselves. They got to know that you are one of them. And now, all of you are not going to be accepted. They don't need all of you. They don't like you. They just want to appear to be non-biased. They want to appear to be acceptance of everybody. So those who can represent them the best out of you might get a chance to come in. And hey, bro, you know who they let in. I'm not them. You, if you're a minority, you know who they let in. Okay. So if you can't be the best of that, then you're left out. Here's where the problem comes: is that there are still those that's left out, even though now your minority is included in the structure. It's included because they have found a way to justify and settle the issue of whatever the divisiveness was about for them. Now they got the blacks in there, they got this going on, and you just can't measure up, is what they say about you. But the truth of the matter is that what they represent does not include you. Listen, not just here in Minnesota, not just here in the United States of America, but all over the entire globe, ladies and gentlemen. What I'm telling you is so truthful. Till I used to be just like that. I used to be just like a Clarence Thomas. I used to be just like any black person that moved on up that ladder and seemed to be getting over. They're not. They're being used. And I could have been one just like them. Because I learned how to be a real nice guy, real cool guy, easygoing guy, treat you nice, love you to death, and still represented you. I didn't know certain things. You know, for instance, let me give you a quick example. When I was in elementary school, we used to watch a lot of television. We used to read in the history about how the West was won, how the soldiers would come in and kill the Indians and take their land. I used to think that was great. They made us think that they took that land so we could have a place to live. I thought that was great. I didn't know any better. But I learned better one day. I learned that black people were treated the same way that those natives were. Wow. Then I started looking at the way I was being treated that day compared to everybody else and the others. And I began to see stuff. Then there became in our midst people who were wiser than the local people. And they were speaking things that we hadn't heard. And they were representing our concerns. And they moved by the spirit of truth and change. Yes, we can. And the powers, the controlling powers, killed them. Which was all of the indication that you ever needed that these guys were telling us the truth. That they were warning us, that they were telling us that there's a path over here, a path about life, a path about your dreams, a path about freedom, a path about doing what you love to do and experiencing life. Ooh-wee. Ladies and gentlemen, this is so real. Till I know how complicated it is to deal with you, because I've been you. So I thought that I would become one of those who you don't have any faith in, poor people. And I know that the power that I'm telling you about, that I speak to you about, is magnificent, can make mountains dance, not just move, but dance. I know that. And so I come down here believing without a doubt that me being poor, that my representation, that the Spirit would use me to overcome whatever your problems are. And you would begin to wake up and see. I told myself that. I believed it. I stood up against stuff that I just knew was wrong. I walked out on the military when I knew Ronald Reagan was fake. My wife left me when she found out that I wasn't going to trick the world and become one of the big shots. You know, I committed crimes. I working for a company. I took money from them and gave it to dope dealers and prostitutes and people who couldn't pay their rent, and went to, just to get a chance to speak to you in court, to tell you what I'm telling you now, what I've been telling you. You didn't even show up. So I went to prison. I did time, come out, watch George Bush steal the election and take a stand against it, get violated for some previous stuff I'd done, go to prison again, come back out. I've suffered, but it was all because I know what I'm telling you is true. But let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, out of all the things I've done, there is none of it that I am ashamed of. I'm grateful that God, the Almighty God, the power that you can't see, can't touch, can't feel, lived inside of me in such a way that I was able to do these kinds of things and still feel joyous about it. But there's one thing that I suffered. That's my health. Not being able to afford like poor people can. And the thing that gets me most is my dental health. I have learned that I don't care how ugly you are. You can see a person with a suit on that doesn't look that good, male or female, but they can have some dynamite shoes on and all of a sudden the whole outfit looks good. You can have a wonderful suit on and some messed up shoes and you just look like you messed up. Well, you can be as ugly as you want to be, but if you open your mouth and smile and your smile is beautiful, it just overwhelms you. Or you can be as fine looking as you are, and you open your mouth and it can make you look so ugly that people want to run from you. And it's just, we've been programmed to think this way. So everybody wants to have a good smile. You can bet your last money on that, and I definitely do. So every time I would I have a cavity or couldn't afford to get a tooth fixed, I tell myself I got to really step up now. I got to really wake you up, because when I wake you up, we can change things. Well, if you look at my mouth right now, you can see it's been a long time, and it hasn't changed a thing except. And I really have to stand before you and have to speak to you. And I can't even give you that big joyous smile that I want to give you. I can't give you that big smile that just that's bubbling over. When I want to smile, I got to hold my head down because I don't want to disturb you by having you look inside of my mouth. My mouth, that when I feel this shame, I don't just feel shame alone. I feel shame to the people. The people who says, you don't care. You've accepted a system that tells you that ain't your problem. That's his fault. That's all the poor people's fault. Because that's what the powers that govern your life wants you to do and say. And the result of it is there is poverty. There is crime and violence. There is terrorism. There is war. All of that kind of stuff. There's lying and cheating and stealing to accomplish the things that they accomplish. That's why your leaders can lie to you and don't even worry about what you say or what you think. That's why you got to choose sides between this one and that one, knowing that neither one of them no darn good. But you got another choice. The choice is, trust not men. Trust the spirit that you will allow to live in you. And you allow that spirit to live in you. You allow that spirit to govern your life. And if that spirit is the righteous spirit, you will stand for righteousness and your light will shine and all in this darkness. And in this darkness, you will be seen as a directive It is this way to act. It is this way to carry your conduct. Not because I'm trying to beat it over your head. Not because I'm trying to put you in prison and force you to do it. It's because that's the way I'm walking, and I'm not going to walk any other way. And you can't stop me. And if you deal with it, then you better start walking the same way, because that's the only way it's going to happen. Plain and simple as that. Let that spirit be in you. You don't care what somebody else is saying about you. That's what I'm telling myself, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you that just as I'm telling myself. So I'm not trying to say I'm ahead of you. I'm saying we're in this boat together, and let's take care of it. My dental problem might be too far gone now compared to my age. I probably don't have much time to be here. And if you're listening, I know I don't have much time. But in the meanwhile, let us do what we can do to guarantee, to assure ourselves and our posterity that our living here in this day and in this time wasn't totally wasted, because we woke up and the evidence is that we did something. Until next time, this is Eddie Marcus saying, let me check my note before I go, in case I left anything out. Sacrifice. I think I got it all this time. Bye-bye.